We talked to Tanner a bit, and what was that decision process kind of like? How long was that kind of in the back of your minds that maybe that was going to have to be an option?
Well, since he got hurt, not knowing, and any one of our guys, when a guy has a cast or something on there that's limiting him, you got to consider that. But at some point, you just sit down, you got to make a decision. And it felt like, was it getting any better? That's probably the hardest thing for Tanner was, is it improving? Can you help this guy by going out there and playing? And certainly that's a difficult decision on him. You want to finish. At the same time, you also want to make sure that these guys are getting taken care of, and felt like that was the right time to do it.
Was it affecting his play?
Well, yeah, I think anytime you can't go out there and play with everything full speed, especially at linebacker, it's hard to grab on and all those things. As far as just him mentally and being out there and flying the football, but kind of the finished part of it there, it's going to limit you. And I also think, too, just that pain when you're out there playing becomes difficult. And he's a tough kid. We all know that. And at some point, you got to sit down and make a decision.
He said it was kind of even, obviously we think about it in the football aspect, but he said kind of even every day, he said like even when he's put on a seatbelt, it would pop out.
Yeah, it was all those things. That was kind of his day-to-day, and I don't know all that. He talked about it, but that's something after a while, I think anybody, it gets frustrating probably more than anything. And, his family and we talked about the decision, and it was something that felt like he needed to do.
I mean, he was kind of telling some of the stories. I mean, he was like popping bones back into place in times and stuff like that. I mean, it's how tough do you have to be to go through stuff like that? I mean,
well, he did. I don't know. I haven't had that happen to me. I know he's very tough, and I know his day to day because you get the training report every day, and you talk with him, and you try to power through all those things. And he did it for a long time. And just at some point, you got to go in there and get it fixed. And you want to get it done right, too. So the timing of it and who's doing it is also important. How doctors work and all that. And so I think he did everything he could to get through after it happened. Still go out there and play and still play effectively. But at some point, it's just you got to get it done.
You shared your thoughts on Jeremy maybe getting snubbed on some lists and stuff on Monday. Since then, you've seen his teammates on social media as well as and just about every former Bronco in the NFL is tweeting about it too. It's kind of cool to see that support.
Well, I think they're all football fans. I don't think they're obviously teammates or former teammates. They know who he is, but just look at the numbers. I don't know. I don't know what everything goes into choosing these guys for awards. We're certainly proud of our guys, and McNichols has done not only this year but last year too. I think he got 2 years of work there that puts him right at the very top with all these backs, and we're not focused on that necessarily. That's not the main thing, and it wouldn't be for him either. At the same time, when you are producing and these numbers show that you should be in this list of backs or this list of whoever, we'd expect that as well. So I think it's just a matter of, hey, look what he's done. And it's cool to see guys supporting that. Mm-hmm. And then certainly at the same time, we're out there focused on preparing for this game. So that's just part of it. When you play well and you do things, there are individual awards in there because that's why they have them. And we think that he's one of those guys that's deserving of it. But at the same time, we're not controlling that. He knows that as well.
But one of the things I was kind of asking about when we're talking about Air Force's defense, we talked about the pressure and stuff, but I want to ask about the DBs. We mentioned Steelhammer and Ladipo, the corner's obviously really good, and he's been in there, he's made a difference. But what kind of a challenge does that back end present to you guys?
Well, they wouldn't put that much pressure on them if they didn't feel good about it. Yeah, so I think that's probably the biggest thing. Those guys, Steelhammer is one of the best we've seen. Their corners play well, they play physical, they play tough, you got to attack. And just the nature of their defense, I don't think you're going to play that way unless you feel good about the guys that are back there in some one-on-one coverage. So that's kind of how I look at it. And those guys have shown up on tape and they've made plays and created turnovers, which I think all great defenses do that. They create turnovers, and those guys have certainly done that. So to me, it's something for an offense, that's a big challenge. And when you do get your one-on-one as a wide receiver, you got to go out there and attack back. So I think the challenge this week, when we do see that, when we do throw the ball, when there are one-on-one matchups, it's going to be a great battle between the wide receivers and the DBs. So I feel like our guys are pretty good.
We talked to Archie yesterday too, a little bit. The first time we've done it since the season started. How do you think he's done? And obviously, it's kind of public. Last year, a lot of people saw, when he had struggles and stuff. But it seems like obviously this year he started every game for you guys.
Well, much more consistent. And again, at that position too, you talk about a lot of skill players, but he's another year older, more mature, physically better. Has been through a season. He's a great preparer too. So he's a guy that has taken last year's experience, applied it to this year. He's been really each and every week too, practice-wise, just very consistent, and a guy that we've been relying on, been running behind. He's done a great job in pass protection. So you just seen a more mature player, a better physical player this year, and then a more experienced player than what he was last year.
Curious, what NFL team did you grow up rooting for?
Seahawks.
Seahawks?
Still do.
Seahawks guy?
Still do. I was a Denver Seahawks guy. Yeah, but I was a Brian Bosworth fan. So I was a Boz guy. I was a Seahawks guy. Steve Largent, Dave Craig. I was a Bo Jackson fan when he ran over Bosworth for about a month. So I took down the land of the Boz and put up Bo Nose poster and then went back to Seattle. But a Seahawks fan all the way.
Is that right? Is that right? What was a typical Thanksgiving like around the Harsin household growing up? I mean, has it always been football?
Always football. It was always on. We'd always go to my grandma Harsin's house. Right, that was what I remember. And her place was not very big, but it was packed. And we always had a great meal. She cooked all day long. We probably ate around 3, usually. And then she had an entire room off the garage there that was full of pies. And I'm a big pumpkin pie guy, so as a young kid, I usually had about 2 to 3 of them by myself throughout the day. And then probably by 8 o'clock at night, just done. Mm-hmm. Whatever game was on, sleeping on the floor, family, it's hot, small house, sweaty, trying to open up the doors. That's what I remember. But great family time.
Will the family come with you guys to Colorado, or?
No, we're going to we'll have a team meal tomorrow, so the families will be there for that, and we'll do it with our players because they can't go home. The young guys are going home today after practice. But that will be our family time. We'll enjoy it, and we'll talk about what we're thankful for. But the family will stay here, and we get back. We'll have that Saturday to kind of spend some time and make up for not being there on Thanksgiving.
And then after practice today, you guys obviously doing the community service.
Yeah.
And you had mentioned that. Why was that important? And why do you guys, why do you like to do that?
Well, I think this is one. We have our entire team doing community service every semester, all year long. And these guys, they go above and beyond, and they pick their own things to do, not just things that we choose for them. But today is really the one that we do as a team. And today's about really, I think, being thankful for the opportunities we have and giving back and kind of pouring ourselves into this community and trying to put a smile on people's faces. And I think our guys, the one thing we try to preach around here is when you're done, hopefully the community service you've done wants to make you get involved with wherever you live. You want to be somebody that's giving back, that's doing a service of some kind because of what you've done and the impact it can make. And this is another opportunity to do that. And this is our community. It's important to us, and we get a lot out of it.
That's good.